Are you listening?
Alright guys, how's it going? We're back again with another Mash Brothers video. Today we are in Bardstown, Kentucky, and we are going to tour Bardstown Bourbon Company.
I'm about to go back to the car, please.
Are you cold?
Yes.
Whose bright idea was it to film a tour or go do a tour at 9 a.m.? Whoops.
In Bardstown Bourbon Company, they have this really cool restaurant. We were recommended afterwards to try the fried chicken sandwich. We didn't have enough time afterwards, but I definitely recommend go check this out next time you go there. But anyway, on to the tour, guys. So whenever we sat down, they did have three for us: the distillate, the 3-year bourbon, and also the Discovery series.
9 a.m. I think it's fair to call it some Kentucky espresso for us because it's 120 proof. It's going to give us a little pick-me-up here. So go ahead, bring it up to your nose, give it a smell.
Alright, so we started off with the White Dog, the distillate. This is pretty much where bourbon starts. You can get the underlying tones. The next one we jumped into was the 3-year uncut, unfiltered, straight out of the barrel. We both really liked this. This gave you that nice Kentucky hug. This was something that we were wanting to buy, but it really wasn't even available yet.
It's good stuff. Kind of tastes like a ginger snap turkey. Anybody getting that?
This is something that whenever we got back to Ohio, we were kind of missing out on it, and just so happened that Ohio released a single barrel of it.
All right, so we started the tour going through where they're actually cooking the mash. They actually had the mash cooking, and you got to see their mash bill of what they're creating. I think it was actually the distillate that we were trying later in that first little clip there. So here they're talking about how they do that, what that mash bill is, and here we can see once they've added the yeast, it was pretty cool to actually see these open vats, and you're able to smell and just see firsthand the yeast kind of creating that alcohol. Pretty cool experience too, where you actually get to taste it. Like how you'd think, okay, that's not sanitary, but you actually are allowed to dip your finger down in there and give it a taste. Not my favorite taste, as you can tell by the expression on my face, but not too bad. Now here you can actually see once they've started cooking it and actually separating the grain, the mash, and creating it into the alcohol. Here you can also see the high wine and low wine. And it's pretty cool to actually be able to see it flowing. This was the first tour that Luke and I have been on that we've actually been able to see this happening. Most of the time we go on the weekend and they're not doing this, but Bardstown's running 24/7, so it was pretty cool to be able to see that process going through as we were on the tour. They actually even gave us a little sample of the high wine or the moonshine or whatever you guys want to call it, White Dog, and made a pretty good hand sanitizer as you see Luke rub it in. Alright, so the next stop was actually inside of the facility where they put the whiskey inside the barrels to be aged for the X amount of years of however they're going to age it. Then outside you see the amazing rickhouses. It smells amazing. One of the things you first see when you walk in is the fill your own bottle. It was a cool experience. It was a little bit more expensive than what Luke and I wanted to spend, and we wanted just to buy a bottle. They also had a cool little speakeasy. I think this is also an elevated tasting area, but inside the rickhouse is absolutely beautiful and a cool little space to actually thieve the whiskey out and give it a try.
We started off really small, so our first round of things is going towards our flagship products, where we are going to be able to release some single barrels in stores here in the future. We do have what you tasted in the classroom. That is available in a single barrel. That is going to be somewhere about 122 to 126 proof in that general range. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. It's all aged for 6 years. And then 2024, we're getting ready to release rye whiskey at cask strength, which is going to be all 6 years old as well. And then 2025, we're looking to be able to release a wheated bourbon cask strength. So that's our bottled and bond recipe. That's 68-2012. That's highly sought after. So what we're going to try today, this is going to be a rye bourbon. This is my favorite mash bill that sits out here. This is a 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malt and barley. It might be my favorite because this is what I cut my teeth with bourbon on. I started drinking this at 9 a.m. at 120 proof. So you'll learn how to like it, all right? Cool. So we're gonna pull from the barrel here. And what I'm going to pull with is called the Whiskey Thief. So if you ever sat down in a restaurant, put your finger over top of your straw, create a little suction. Well, it's the exact same thing. I'm doing the exact same thing with the barrel, and this is just a way cooler straw. Right. So when I'm pouring for you guys, I might drop a little char to the inside. This is unfiltered. So that also might cause me a problem where if I'm pouring for you and it turns out really slow, it doesn't look like it will be, char is blocking me out. So just give me a second. You guys have me outnumbered out here, so don't quarter me out in the rickhouse if your pour is a little funky right up front. I'm gonna take care of it for you.
All right, at this point, we actually got to try the distillate coming directly out of the barrel. I think at this point it was aged for 3 years. He might have said it already and I missed it, but really good. We didn't like it as much as we liked the 3-year high rye that was inside, but it was still a very cool experience to try those bottles. So the next stop was actually inside the gift shop where you see Luke looking at a couple things. We were unaware of how many companies that Bardstown is actually responsible for creating their distillates. So some they actually create the distillate, some they actually age the whiskey there. We found out the only one that they actually do promotion for is Green River, but they also, as I said, produce the distillate for those different companies. Now here we see the Foursquare collaboration. They do a whole bunch of collaboration series with different companies, which was very neat. One of the very highly sought after, a Disco 10 was available there for $139. I believe they actually even had they did have the Disco Series 11, so $139 for that as well. And that's where we're going to end the tour, back where we started by the restaurant. And Alan from the past, take over.
All right, guys, so we just finished the Bardstown Bourbon Company tour. Got to see everything from the distillate from when they first start all the way up to the bottling facility, not the bottling facility, but the actual rickhouse where we got to have the thieved whiskey directly from the barrel. So that was probably one of the coolest experiences.
That was definitely the coolest experience I've ever had so far.
Yeah, so we got to start off with tasting the distillate, a 120 proof right from the barrel, which was really cool.
Origin.
Like, it was really cool because it actually had
some char in it.
Yeah, it was uncut.
It was really good.
Uncut,
it was 120
unfiltered.
proof. And for me, that's a little too much, but it makes you want to buy that bottle.
Like, I think you really enjoyed that one. I think that one would be a good one for you to get started liking, especially being uncut and unfiltered. You liking that? That's pretty cool.
This tour, for anyone that doesn't drink them straight, this is a good tour to help you get there, because I was telling him on the way out, I was like, this is actually making me want to like start drinking it like meat, maybe just even on the rocks, like more, because of, you know, we're tasting all these, you know, more and more, and especially that one was really good.
Yeah, and it's really cool too. Well, you don't have it open, but you actually, with the doing the tour, you get a free gift, and we got he called it a fat Glencairn because it's like a smashed Glencairn. So cool little tasting glass for doing the experience. Overall, like, totally recommend. I mean, we haven't got to eat here yet. I'm kind of wanting to eat here. I don't know if we're going to or not. If we do, we'll probably include some clips here and there. But honestly, one of the coolest facilities we've ever been to for bourbon.
For sure.
So
we've only done one other tour, which is Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, you've done Buffalo Trace. I've personally done of Woodford, Angel's Envy, and a couple other odds and ends, like different distilleries here and there. But by far, this has been the coolest one so far. Being able to have it directly thieved from the barrel, and it's just such a cool experience. It makes me want to come back to Bardstown, try some of their other, because they say they work with 35 different companies making their distillate and aging it here, and it just makes me want to discover everything that Bardstown does. So super cool distillery. Totally recommend you guys checking it out.
Please check it out. It's great. Dan, our tour guide, was awesome.
Yeah, but if you guys have the option to recommend or ask for a tour guide, Dan, he was amazing. Dan, if you're watching this, because you said you'd check us out, thank you so much for a great tour. We greatly appreciate it. But that's where we're going to end the video, guys. So thank you guys for checking out the video. Until next time, thanks for watching the Mash Brothers channel. Luke, where can they find us at?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
All right, guys, check in the next one. Peace.